I feel like if you just don't give up on your dreams and whatnot, like you genuinely can start to see things come to light.
All right, well, welcome everybody. This is the Creative Path. I am here today with the one and only Gabe Lomotey. Is that how I pronounce it,
Lomotey,
Gabe?
Lomotey.
Lomotey, Gabe Lomotey.
Yeah,
Here for our very first episode. Really excited to dig into one of the creators that I've been following for quite a while now. He has some amazing content, some amazing insights that I think he'll be able to share and discuss with us today. And with that, I just want to go ahead and give you a quick chance, Gabe, to maybe introduce yourself, let the folks know who are not following you, maybe just getting started following you on your journey, a little bit about yourself.
for sure, for
And then we'll get
sure.
right into things, man.
It's so funny because I'm like, do I look at the camera or do I look at
I might be looking at you. I might be looking
Right,
back.
right. I'm
We'll
like, do
see
I
how that
like?
works.
Well, maybe I'll make contact with the audience just so that way it feels more formal. But yeah. So basically, yeah. Hi guys, my name is Gabe Lomotey. I'm a filmmaker and photographer based in Columbus, Ohio. Basically on my page, I primarily teach people more about like content creation, especially in the sense of color grading. So I do a lot of DaVinci tutorials, but I'm also like such a huge gearhead. So I like to discuss some of my favorite gear, and I've been able to partner up with companies such as like Nanlite, June, do a little couple videos for them, and I'm just consistently kind of like building my personal brand. But here in Columbus, most of the work that I do is corporate creative and wedding work. So it's like a huge surplus, but it expands a lot further than that. And my own video production company is called GL Creative LLC. So if you're in Columbus and you need video work, I specialize in all of that alongside with short form content. So that's kind of like mainly the gist of everything. If I can like speed it up. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I think a lot of people, if they were to visit your Instagram page, might definitely recognize you have a wide skill set. I think, when it comes to the film production, the post production, but also just the content creation itself, you've definitely shown that you can do it all in that arena.
Right.
And of course, I'm always interested to hear a little bit about people's like their first starting point in all of this. What kind of
Mhm.
kick-started the process for them? How they started to develop some skills. And I think in one of your videos, I saw that you, initially were focused on making like YouTube videos,
Yeah.
maybe some gaming content. I think it
Yeah.
was. And
Yeah.
was that really the start to like you creating, editing
Yeah,
that whole
bro.
world?
Like, I mean, it started off really, really young. Like, I got into video when I was 11. And this is on my like start here page and everything. So I got into video when I was 11, and I was making like Roblox gaming videos. I was very influenced by YouTubers such as the Rad Brad, and PewDiePie. Those are like my two kingpins
Mm.
that like I watched very, very early on. And I was like, I want to make gaming videos. So I started up a gaming channel, and like, nobody wants to listen really to like a 12-year-old squeak. Like people,
Right.
somebody who hasn't hit puberty and everything. So,
Hmm.
but I ignored that noise. So I just consistently made those videos, and that's kind of like how I learned to edit. I was using Windows Movie Maker early on, and I did that for about a year or two, and I'll just post it to the channel, and I'll share it with friends and family that was like around. And
Hmm.
a couple of my friends, yeah, a lot of them actually were very, very supportive. They were like, yeah, like this is really, really cool. So the friends that wanted to get into YouTube, they would be like, hey, Gabe, can you be an editor for me? And I
Hmm.
was like, yeah, sure. So I'm over here charging like $10 to put somebody's like intro video together, and then
Hmm.
meanwhile,
Hmm.
it's just
That's
like,
pretty good money for
right.
for a
No,
12-year-old.
literally,
That's not bad.
like when you like 11, 12, that's a lot of money. You know what I mean?
That's pretty good. Yeah.
So it was like I was doing that, and I was pulling some of these templates off of YouTube. This is like when YouTube had like a lot of like overlay templates.
Hmm.
So I was
Yep.
trying to like pull them, but then this was when it would require like Adobe Premiere Pro and like Adobe After Effects, and I didn't have any of that. I didn't have the
Hmm.
money for that. So I went from doing that, and I got into this is what like hopefully I can say this, but like there were cracked versions, bro, like online. So like
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
we
had
were
to,
all over that.
you know what I'm saying? Like I was like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
like let me get a little bit into
Mm-hmm.
these cracked versions. So I got like Photoshop like at 13.
Mm-hmm.
I messed a little bit with Adobe After Effects when I was like that, like 13 too, but my computer couldn't run it. So I eventually had to like leave that in the past. And then I went from using Windows Movie Maker to Camtasia Studio. Then I saved up money to get Sony Vegas in 2014. So then I used Sony Vegas for 5 years. And then 2019, I used Adobe Premiere Pro. In college in 2022, like my final semester of college, we had to use DaVinci Resolve. And honestly, I hated it. I hated DaVinci so much. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought it was way too overwhelming. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't understand it. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Premiere feels like a safe haven. I don't think I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
ever switch from Adobe.
Yeah.
And then I did a freelance editing job for Micro Center in 2024, and they were like, "Yo, you need to have DaVinci because that's what they use to edit."
Okay.
My boy Kevin, he told me he was like my connect and everything. He was like, "Hey, just you'll invest in it, you'll be able to make your money back for sure."
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I just started to dibble and dabble more into the color grading on Resolve because I was like, bro, like I need to conquer this. So I was literally taking notes, like I have it in my journal and everything. I was taking notes on like what things meant, and I would just mess around with it, watch a couple of videos here and there, and then it was just more practice.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like more of the color grading side and how I was able to use like NLEs. That's like my editing journey. And then for
Okay.
my production journey, I'll kind of like speed ramp this through too. It started really, really early. 4 years after I picked up editing in 2015, I picked up my first camera, and that was a Canon T6. In high
Good
school,
camera.
yeah, it was a really great camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in high school, we had this video project that we needed to do, and my English teacher, she was like, "Oh, she was like, you can do whatever you want. Like, you could do a PowerPoint, a book review, or you guys can make a video." So I basically used the skills that I had developed and understood from the camera to like do this school project. And alongside with that, I was also on the school's like broadcasting team. So we had like this news channel, and that's where I also like practiced like my videos. So when I did this project, I we shared it to the class and everything. And my teacher, she was like really blown away by like our performance of it. This was like first piece of narrative work. The storytelling was really, really good, and I think it's still a good video to this day, at least for me being like 16. And after that, she told me, my English teacher, she was like, "Have you considered doing like film in college?" And at the time, I wanted to go into civil engineering, and I was
Okay.
like, "No, nah." She was like, "You can minor in it." I'm like, "What the heck's a minor?" She was like, "You can do that on the side and major
Mm-hmm.
in your civil engineering." So that summer, I thought heavily about if I wanted to actually do it, and I did. I spent so much time honing in on the craft. I was shooting cinematic vlogs with friends. It was like really dog water, but we were having a lot of fun doing it. And
Yeah.
going into college, I told my parents I was like, I want to do film. My dad was full on supportive, and I'm Ghanaian, so like African parents, like if you're foreign, you kind of get the vibe. But, like my mom,
Mm-hmm.
she was
Mm-hmm.
stressed, so she was like, I don't know if you're gonna make money and all this, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, But my dad, he was supportive, so he helped me in everything. Just throughout college, bro. Like I just practiced I made more vlogs. I was still practicing with my camera. I went from a Canon T6 to a Lumix G7 to a Canon 77D, and then my junior year of college, I bought the Sony A7 III, and then after that, it's just been straight Sony. So yeah, college definitely helped me. It helped me with my first wedding, and after that, when I graduated in 2022, I did my first commercial shoot like 2 weeks later after graduation, and that
Okay.
was really fun. And it's just been uphill since then, bro. So that was the
Mm-hmm.
productive journey. Just a speed
That's
rap.
awesome,
Yeah.
man. No, that's incredible. I mean, I think it does take a little bit of, you know, like some early exploration. You got some reinforcement and support from your teacher to really, consider taking that seriously or at
Right.
least continue with it. And sometimes that's all it takes to make you kind of start climbing that hill. So
Right.
it's good your parents were, at least maybe one parent was supportive. I think
Yeah.
that's a really big piece as well. But no, that's fascinating, man. So yeah, when it comes to editing, it sounds like it was just a steady progression of getting more comfortable and familiar with the editing process, starting out with your own projects and then working on others' behalf, probably strengthen a little bit of your desire to build up your skill set. What was it about like video production itself that was a spark to you, or really, drove an interest and passion for you?
I think it was the fact that it was just like extremely entertaining. Like going on with those early videos, like watching PewDiePie, bro, and making those funny moments montages, bro. Like I would be in tears, bro. Like I would legitimately be in tears watching these videos and watching the Rad Brad. Like he was doing his commentary while watching like games that I couldn't buy, like games that I couldn't get, because one, I just didn't have the money, and two, I wasn't old enough to get them. Basically, it was like there was an entertaining but also informative side to it, and I think I really, really wanted to just copy that. And the minute I started getting more into like the cinematic stuff, that's when I was like, bro, you can really just like make movies like with your friends, and it doesn't have to be this insane thing. And like people such as like Freddie Wong, early on with like Rocket Jump, like this is like early stuff, like Video Game High School. If people know this, you have game, like but it's just like stuff like that consistently that I was watching. I'm like, bro, like the sky's the limit with video. Like it really is.
Yeah.
Like it's this huge, beautiful medium, and cinema it's just immaculate. Like I love everything about it. So like when I went to college and I majored in film studies, the more historical, like analytical side of it, but my focus was in video production. I
Okay.
think it taught me even more because you can do so much with video. There's not really like one dead set, and like there's a million things you can do in terms of video production. It can be avant-garde. It can be documentary. It can be experimental. Like there's this whole surplus of different things that you can do with video, and I think that's why like I fell in love with it. Like
Yeah.
you're your own artist, man.
It's
Like
not many limitations in what
yeah,
you can pursue.
no,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah. And it's also, I think in today's world, obviously the barrier to entry is a lot lower. So there's a lot that you can start to do with less. And I think when
Right.
it comes to creating, that's one of the, main trigger points is like, I feel a creative itch. I want to explore different ways to express that. And yeah, filmmaking is just, it's a medley of things.
Yeah.
I started off I was mostly focused when I was younger on, I really enjoyed drawing. I enjoyed writing. So I had like visual creative interests and things that I wanted to see brought to life.
Yeah.
But the production side was definitely not in my purview. But going back to, the editing world, I do agree too that it's funny how many people I come across that, there were like two big, intersections that they hit, which was YouTube. I think YouTube is also just absolutely incredible. Like YouTube has
Right.
been a part of my entire
Right.
life, in terms of my influences, but also gaming. I mean, there was a real big era of
Yeah.
gaming where everybody was doing like a gaming compilation, like a Call of Duty mix,
Call of Duty
or,
edits, yeah. Yeah.
and that really, I think, got a lot of people into NLEs and what the editing experience looked like. So it's interesting that was also a part of your process. At this point, again, if anybody goes to your YouTube channel, or excuse me, your Instagram page, honestly, man, it seems like you developed DaVinci Resolve yourself. Like, everything about that friggin' tool. And it's
Not
funny
even.
that you mentioned it's incredible, man. I mean, I've been using DaVinci Resolve for probably like 5 years now. Also felt very overwhelmed when I first got in
Yeah.
there because I came from Premiere, I came from online apps for editing, and it is so robust that it can be a lot to take in. But yeah, what has been like your process really to just continue learning everything about it? Because sometimes it can feel like you're just swallowing an ocean,
Right.
and remembering all that and applying it in an effective way, what you do, and then being able to teach that is really
Yeah.
unique.
Now for sure. This is a funny thing too because it's like, uh, if somebody goes on and I don't know if we'll kind of like talk more about like my short form journey later, but like if somebody goes early onto my videos, like before like when the pattern first started, because I started uploading videos every day November 12th. That was like I've been posting every day since November 12th of 2025. Yeah, yeah, literally. So it's been like 5 months of straight consistent uploads. But like, I think I was like maybe day 12, 13 or something. I don't remember what day it was. I created a film, like I did a film look tutorial. And I did this film look tutorial where it was like, I had my CST and basically, I'm not even going to get into technicals. I had the node tree, but the way I set up the node tree for the actual film look was incorrect. So I showed people how to do it, but then like I realized after I had filmed it, I was like, bro, oh my gosh, like I did this wrong. And some people like were like, oh, thank you, and then the other people like called me out and they're like, yo, aren't you supposed to do this? And at that point I was like, bro, like it's too late to take down the video and I'm not going to take down the video. Like I'm just going to use this as a learning method. And that's exactly what I did to kind of like get better at color grading in general. Was I would take the time to see exactly what worked and what didn't, and I would also pay attention to other famous colorists such as like Darren Moss, Cullen Kelly. I love Darren Moss so much, so like his videos, like there was a lot of information there, and I would look at some of those things, and then I was like, okay, I'd take some of it, and then I'd go back and I would open DaVinci and I would just practice it, and it was coming to the point where I'm not even joking, like bro, like I wouldn't even open my phone first, like morning, like literally would get up morning, sometimes wouldn't even straight brush my teeth, come over to my MacBook, literally open DaVinci, bro. I'm so serious, like for an hour 30, and then just grade. And that's all I was doing. And I would like it's an addiction and it's still an addiction. And so I was having so much fun understanding it. And if I didn't know how to do something, then that's where I would look it up. But like that's the whole point of me also creating the tutorials, because if I do end up forgetting something, I can go back to that old video that I already made and see what I did and see if I said it correctly or if there's an update that I can actually enhance. So like there's a lot of more people now that like follow me that haven't seen some of the tutorials, and like they haven't, they'll ask questions like, can you cover this, can you cover this, and I'm like, I already made a video about it, but I'm like, there's nothing wrong with making a refresher, like a part 2 to that video, or like a newer version of that video, because I thought I was high key running out of like content to teach people, and I was like, let me just start doing breakdowns and whatnot. But I was like, no, bro, like there's still a bunch of new tools. So like that's like my training process. Like I literally will open it up and I'll practice it. And if I don't know anything, one, I'll do my own research. I'll find somebody who has already created a tutorial about it, see if I understand it. Or the second one, which it's free to every single person. Blackmagic literally has a whole guide. They have their whole guide on their page. So like you literally can just go through that PDF. I think it's like 300 something pages, but you take the time to like understand and figure out what you want to learn little by little. Like next thing you know, you completed the whole thing. So it's really just like this step-by-step process. Like the only thing that I haven't learned really well personally is Fusion. I don't know why. Fusion, like it like blows my mind, bro. Like I love After Effects more, but it's just
I mean, that's a whole other sort of the node world. I think it was a big it scared me a lot when it came to color grading. Once you get familiar with sort of sequences of building nodes, I think it feels a lot more comfortable. But then there's that whole sequence of building out Fusion stuff, and I'm also I'll leave that to the professionals and maybe download a template here or there. But yeah, I mean, I think that's also a testament to just getting better as an artist, as anybody that's just trying to build on a skill. It's just repetition, trial and error, taking some of your L's and using that as motivation to get better or learn more. So yeah, I think and with DaVinci Resolve, since it is free, like you said, I think there's no cost to spending a lot of time in it and just getting better. What would you say, you going back to your content development journey, you say you've been posting now for 5 months straight. I think when I first started following you, you had like, I don't know, maybe like 13K followers, something like that.
I
And
think you
now
even
you're,
followed me before that, no cap.
yeah, it might be like closer to 10.
Yeah, I think you were following me like around 10K. I'm not gonna hold you.
Okay. Because now, yeah, you're well over like 25,000
20,
followers.
I think I'm at 26,000 right now. 26,000. Yeah,
26,000?
26.7.
Yeah, man. So has that all been, attributed to the consistency you've had on the platform, or do you really think it has been this DaVinci Resolve series that has really kind of blown up for you?
I think it's definitely been a mix for sure, but I would definitely say DaVinci has a huge part of the growth, bro. Like 100%. And this is one thing that I guess like this is one of the things that like I also offer as a service for like my own clients and whatnot when it comes to the short form content, because you have to really do a lot of analytical things. You have to analyze, you have to audit your page, you have to understand what's working and what isn't. And one thing that I feel like a lot of, well, not a lot. I'm not even going to say a lot because I don't want to target a lot. I want to say some content creators that will miss is that they'll yell at their audiences and they'll be like, "You need to get followers and views, bro." Followers and views does not equate to anything. I'll be honest with you. Like it shows that you're doing well, but at the same time, I think the biggest thing with those follower and views is the value that you provide. That's the people who preach that consistently. They're spitting facts, right? Because the videos where I was just like doing, I had, when I was early on, when I revamped my page in August, I was doing like doom scrolling posts. So I'd get like 160 likes, 170 likes, 180 shares. I'm like, okay. But like, it wasn't like I wasn't gaining a community from it. I wasn't
Yep.
gaining a following from it. It was more like somebody would share it and then that's it. Oh, here's this relatable post that this guy had. Like, go watch it. And then that's that. But then the minute I started doing the tutorials, and shout out to my homegirl is Isabel, because she told me to do these back in early 2025. She was like, you should do tutorials on your YouTube channel. Like, I want to know your color grading process. I delayed it a little bit, but we got there. And it was as simple as that, where like that value, once somebody asked one question, another person asked another, and then another, and then another. And then I was like, okay, like let's mix that in with not only like the DaVinci tutorials, but like let's talk about gear. What gear am I using for like some of these shoots I have? You know, like these are many questions that people would ask me consistently, and I was like, bro, this is actually not hard to make the content, because it all settled around stuff that I love, and I wasn't doing it in the sense of being forced to do it because that was what would have created it to be a chore. I was doing it because I'm like, bro, I just want to do this for the love of the game. And I just want to make videos because why not? So I dedicated more of my time to just thinking of the things that I wanted to create. And it would take me like 5 minutes, literally like 5 minutes to think of something. I'm like, what am I going to film tomorrow? Okay, I'm going to film a tutorial around exposure. And then, ooh, actually, I'll have some time. I might as well film the saturation video. To create it into a habit, I forced myself to make a new video, one video a day. So that was where I did that. And I forgot where I heard this from, but they say it typically takes about 21 days to form a habit. I was able to do that probably within like 2 weeks, and it became like second nature. So at that point, I was just like, I don't need to batch videos because I'm always consistently thinking, and that's what made my brain always happy, because I'm like, okay, I might do this, and if I forgot, I would just write it down. So I feel like DaVinci for sure definitely did have a huge part of the success and growth. A lot of it, I mean, it was really cool to see my page grow. I think I gained like 1,000 followers in like 8 days during Christmas time. And I'm like with my family and friends, and I was like, guys, I'm at 3,000. Today I'm at 3,100, 3,200. Next thing you know, it's like, we're at 4,000 followers. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, so it was really cool. And I was like, yeah, I need to keep cranking out these tutorials, but I don't want my page to just be tutorials. I
Yeah.
was like, I love lights. I mean, I have so many lighting fixtures. I'm like, lighting makes my grades look good, bro. Like, if it wasn't for lighting and not understanding that. So I'm like, these are the important essentials that I think that production, people who want to get into production need to know. And, you know, I just want to try and elevate that as best as I possibly can and spread that knowledge in the most easy way, and more efficient way. So people aren't having to be like, oh my goodness, I still don't understand it. Like, so I'll try and break it down.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. I don't think you want to, you know, run yourself ragged in one particular direction, because
Right.
as much as it is nice for people to expect maybe a particular style or you know, type of content that you develop, eventually you'll just pigeonhole yourself. But you know, you make a great point too, that a lot of what you focus on with post production starts at the beginning. You know, even before you start filming, there's a lot of intentionality about how an image is meant to look. That's really going to impact your coloring experience. So
Exactly.
it's nice to see you start building out some of that content as well. And I do want to talk a little bit more about you know, your filmmaking process, maybe some things that you have as a prospect right now.
Sure.
But what's really your continued goal? I think, you know, I will say this. I think it's really hard to commit to one video a day, especially if you have other obligations going on, maybe another job. You got a lot of people have families. They're
Right.
trying to spend time with friends. What was a good like lifestyle balance for you to make that happen? And is that something you want to keep doing?
Yeah, I mean, like one thing for me, for example, like I have a girlfriend. We like to have our date nights Wednesday, right? Like, so knowing that I'm gonna separate like my work life from like my lifestyle life. I mean, my life, like you know, personal life, is very, very important. And knowing those limitations. So I would always try and prep for if I needed to post a video like that specific day, like I'm gonna do it before I go see her. Same thing with friends. But I think the biggest thing in understanding how to make the content is you gotta think to yourself how much time you're dedicating to just scrolling. And this is always going to be a mindset thing. Like, you just have to train your brain to do it. Like, nobody can force you. I could say this a million times to somebody, you know, but like, you have to train yourself to do it. If you spend a total of 2 hours and 30 minutes accumulatively up the day, doom scrolling, right? If you want to make a video, even if it's a teaching video, you could swap out that same amount of time and do that. And you can break it up the same way. So how for me right now, it's 11 a.m. I could be on my phone till 12 o'clock. 30 minutes I just scrolled, right? What if I took that 30 minutes and dedicated that time potential brainstorming? Now, for me, again, brainstorming might take 5 minutes, so it really could be cut. But let's say if I did 30 minutes of brainstorming, writing down all the videos, okay, cool. We did that from 11:30 to 12 p.m. I might doom scroll again around like 2:30 to 3 p.m. Okay, so what will I replace that with? We're going to pick one idea that we did that brainstorming with, and now we're just going to film that. And within that time period, within that time frame from the 12 o'clock all the way to like 2:30, you know, you might obviously have to work, you might have to be with your kids or something like that, but you have the ability to separate everything. You don't have to necessarily do everything in one continuous sitting, right? Like, and this is where I think I talked about this in one of my creative conversations videos. I don't remember which episode, but it's like, I called it breaking down the system, where you can break down your schedule to make sure that you're setting time aside to doing everything that you want to do. Luckily for me, even before, because I just went full-time freelance, I had a part-time job. So I was doing my part-time job in the evening. So it was like in the morning, if I didn't have a shoot or something like that, because I still had to work from home and edit, I would wake up, do my like primary stuff, and then I would film the video. Like I would literally think about the video, I would film the video, and if I had the time, then I would edit it immediately. You don't necessarily have to follow that. You can film 2-3 videos if you want. Before we even got on this call, I filmed 2 videos. I'm not going to edit them probably until later tonight. But like that's already done. So now I'm just like, okay, production is set, Post-production is going to come later. You can do this on a separate day if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to force yourself to do all these things in one continuous sitting. And I feel like that's where people kind of get overwhelmed, because then they're like, that, oh my goodness. But another huge part of where people also get overwhelmed, and I used to be that person, is perfectionism. The first video I ever created where this started the short form content journey was called Content is Content, and I like literally like went on a tangent for like a minute and 30 seconds talking about how I hate perfectionism, and I was like, I'm just gonna post everything, I don't care, bro. Like, I really don't. So
Yeah.
if you like fight that habit plus everything I just said, and you combine that into two, like, you're gonna see the growth. And I went again from 1,100 followers November 12th to now April 18th, 26,000 followers, and literally over 2.8 million views in the past 30 days, right? I don't even want to know how many views I got in the past 5 months. I think it's probably well over 4 million to 5 million. But like, it's that continuous pattern of, it's like, if you're wanting to achieve stuff, figure out something that you want to niche down to, or if you don't want to niche, test things out, see what works for you. And then give value. If you're wanting to entertain, that's okay. Like, create entertaining value content, right? Like, if you want to do information, create that content. Don't focus on the views. You focus on the views, then you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get burned out as well.
Yeah.
I didn't care about the views, bro. Like, 20 people, if they liked it, 20 people were like, yo, I liked what he had to say. Cool. Like, that's mass move. Then go on to 30 people. Now it's like 100 people will like a video. Even if I have 26,000 followers, I don't expect to get 26,000 views on every video. I don't really care that way. Like, if 20 people saw that video and they liked it, we cool, bro. People will say that flopped. I don't care if it flopped. I'm putting out the stuff. I have the content out there. Maybe that video will find into somebody else's algorithm, and they'll enjoy it and they'll watch it, and that's how it'll go.
Exactly.
So it's having all that information, keeping that beautiful mindset, but you have to train your mindset. Nobody else can tell you that. Like, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, no, that's a mouthful. I think you hit the nail on the head, though, with how you train your brain to approach the process, where it doesn't have to feel like this overwhelming thing. As long as you have a little bit of intentionality to it, some planning, some consistency, swapping out all the wasted time that we spend. I will say this: it's great to consume content. Otherwise, I wouldn't find creators like yourself. Right. But there is a balance to how you input and output with some of those things. And then, like you said, the way that you interpret results, I think, is really important. Not everybody's gonna find you immediately. Not every video is gonna be the most amazing thing, but the reps is what's most important. And to be honest, man, that's like my biggest hurdle for myself personally, is just the level of consistency and also acting quickly. When I thought of this idea to start connecting with creators directly, I had it planned for maybe like a few weeks before I reminded myself that if I don't start this now, I'm not going to do it. It's going to sit in my little note sheet. It's not going to become anything tangible. So I think that's another big point, is just don't delay with stuff. Just, if you have an idea, write it down, act on it as soon as possible. And don't try to make it perfect. Just get better over time. And I think there's a lot of creators, I think, that are right at the beginning of your trajectory as well. They also got 1,100 followers, and in 5 months, if they stick to those tangible things, then they'll have similar results.
Yeah.
So what is let me see. I think I had another. What, aside from just the focus on the DaVinci Resolve series, the consistency you've had, was there like a particular point or a video, one particular moment you recognize that this approach is working? I can see the growth, and it's kind of been triggered there.
See, yeah, there's I gotta scroll all the way down. There for sure was. I should have just pulled this up on my computer. I would say, which video was it? I think it was it was the second color grading tutorial I did where I did a film look. Well, not it wasn't a film look breakdown, but it was a it was a breakdown. Yeah, the easy. I literally named it the easiest color grading tutorial, and that video has like 27,000 views. But basically, I just talked about how. Basically, I just talked about how I color graded this wedding film that I had shot 2 days before, and I had posted the stills on my page. And like a couple of my friends and whatnot, they were like, "Yo, drop the tutorial, bro! Like, how you doing this?" I'm like, "Yo, I use Phantom Lux." So I did that whole entire grade, and I like just broke it down, and it's like this simple. Oh God, I forgot my phone's over here. It's just like this simple breakdown of like me, showing how like I did the whole entire grade. And after that, when I saw that it went from like 50 likes to 100, and then it was like 150, and then I was like, yo, this video got 300 likes, bro. Like, what do you mean? Okay. So then I was like, let me make another video, but like let me do this lighting video. And this lighting video, it didn't get as much like crazy views or anything like that. It got like 4,000, but I didn't really care. It was the fact that the day before I had saw that it really like that video performed extremely well, and I was like, I want to make something that's creative and showcases my creativity. And I made this lighting video that took 7 hours to make. It's 28 seconds, literally just 28 seconds, and I put in all this effort. And for some people, they'd be like, "Oh, it flopped," but like it didn't flop to me. I was like, "Oh, oh well." So I just was like, "I'm just gonna mix and match and put in a little bit of like what I know and just teach people because I feel like teaching is fun." I always wanted to teach too. This was another thing I forgot to mention that. So I did the film look color grading tutorial that ended up getting like 20,000 views. And then I did another film look. So I was like, yo, should I just start doing film looks? Like teach more people about film looks. And I was like, wait, but I also want to teach people about like Rec 709 and like what's log. So then I did a video, what is log? And that was a really fun video to make because I feel like it's still one of the best explanations that if anybody who doesn't know anything about log, bro, like I feel like somebody should send them this video because I was
That's
like,
a
bro, I
great
broke it
video.
down so well. I got it to my own horn.
Yeah.
So did that, and then again created one final film look video, well, quote unquote final, but I did one more film look video, and I had went to go watch Wicked 2 with my mom and sister, and then I was just getting notifications in the theater.
Like,
And
I
it was
need to
like,
step
oh,
out real quick.
nah, for real. It was like, oh, this video got 100 likes, 200 likes, 300 likes, and I like viewed it, and it was like 5,000 views already. I was like, oh my gosh. And then that video got like, I think it has like 60,000. So I knew for a fact, I was like, bro, like the tutorials are fun. They're just such a fun way to also grade old footage. And I was like, bro, like I have all this trash footage I used to film, bro. Like, let me go back and like see what I can do now. And that's how I got better as being a colorist too. So
Yeah.
that's the thing.
I think it also allows you. I mean, I would say that's one of your strengths as well is presenting information. Articulating it very clearly, being on camera, talking to an audience. I think you have a nice steady pace with things. It doesn't feel like it drags on too long, but you can
Right.
still get a ton of information that you can take away. Is that like something you feel has been a natural skill set you've had? Have you had to work on that in terms of getting on camera and talking about the
Oh,
facts?
for sure. I mean, I tell everybody this, even clients in person. I've been talking on camera since 2015. So it's been 11 years of like development and understanding and getting confident and just speaking and all this. So it's like this huge cycle. But I was like, there's cheat codes to it. And that's why I made that video. I think it was episode 3 of Creative Conversations, talking to a camera. The minute I started envisioning that I was talking to somebody about stuff that I know, like that's where everything became easy. Like you and I were having a conversation, but like people might view this later and they were like, oh, like he has no stage fright. Yeah, it's because I'm talking to somebody and I know what I'm talking about, right? So like it is what it is. I'm a stutter. I'm okay. And like and you see it in my videos, bro. Like I cut a lot because there will be videos where my tutorials on average they're under 2 minutes on average every single time under 2 minutes, but like most of the time I film the videos will be like 5 to 10 minutes literally. So yeah, like I would be lying if I said I did not mess up, but like I messed up, I'll say a line and I'm like, okay, I'll say a line, say a line, and I'll repeat the process, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, wait. And I'll take a second to breathe, and I'm like, bro, how do I want to say this? Okay, there we go. And then I'll
Yeah.
get it out, and then that's it. And it's like, it's as simple as that. So if
Mm-hmm.
you go even all the way to the first video, there's this video called Color Grading Made Easy. This was back in November. The way I talk to the camera now compared to this video, you can see that there's a huge change. I also was whispering during this video too because like but it was like there
Yeah.
was a huge change in like confidence where I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, bro, like this is why people also are like, yeah, you're so vibrant, you're so happy. I'm like, yeah, bro, because I'm addicted. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
you've entered your comfort zone,
right, right.
and again, that takes the same amount of reps as it takes to get into an editor and start
Yes,
practicing
sir.
with that. Yeah, I think it's also there's some one of the unspoken things is actually watching yourself back. That's something that
Yeah.
at times I used to feel really uncomfortable with is watching myself in the
Hmm.
video later. And just not overthinking it. At the end of the day, we're all just people, and we're
Right.
just we're meant to share ourselves. I think that's the big trend right now that I'm seeing is less people focusing on highlighting their portfolio and their work, and more on highlighting themselves, bringing their personal brand and personal value to the content. And that's what I tend to connect with now, as well as watching more of the people side of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, so what is like your current focus? I've seen you do a bunch of different styles of projects. You're in corporate, you do weddings. It seems like you're helping other brands.
Hmm.
Maybe potentially working with other big brands. Is that like the road that you're going to continue to follow?
Bro, and that's the thing. Like, I'm 25. I'll be 26 in June. It's like I have no clue because
Mm-hmm.
I for me at least, I feel like I was put on this earth to serve, bro. Like, I really just like to serve and create and form cool relationships with everybody. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily know where like I'll hone down in one specific niche because there's some people that are like, you need to niche down for sure. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, especially like attract a specific brand and capitalize on that, like by all means. But because I also have a niche down either, it lets me challenge myself for
Mm-hmm.
certain things too. So if I was to niche down, I would feel like I would primarily hang around the corporate creative clients in the sense of utilizing your creativity to create corporate work.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people in that space, they don't have a creative mindset. They don't know what to do creatively. So it's like when they hire you to do the work and they're like, yeah, we don't know the shots, we don't know this and everything. You're like, cool, this is where I step in and I'll take care of you in that sense. I love weddings, don't get me wrong, still love them. I think there just is sometimes like a lot of you have one day. You just have one day. Right. Where I really like the planning process. I like knowing exactly like how many things are going to be done, and if we do need to take this over into a day two, then we can
Mm-hmm.
do it. Like planning out for everything is like my
Mm-hmm.
favorite thing. Doing those corporate creative stuff, like that's like I feel like my end goal genuinely. But then like the short form content creation, coaching is a lot of fun. I think
Mm-hmm.
being able to coach people, teaching like one-on-one mentorship, bro, like that's so sick. And being able to do
Mm-hmm.
that, that's like all those three, I feel like is just like the end goal, like
Okay.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I definitely see you continuing to obviously establish an online presence and getting a lot of people in your community to learn from you. And you clearly have a passion and a talent for teaching.
Hmm.
And I work in a corporate setting. That's like what my 9 to 5 is. And
Okay.
I've definitely seen the lack of creative expertise there. And people talk about a niche. Yes, I think corporate is a niche, but corporate is such a broad
Right.
space and industry. It could be any corporation.
Right.
There's a billion of them. So I think that still gives you the flexibility to, work with a bunch of different types of clients and not do the same thing over and over again. But what if you were not a filmmaker, an editor, didn't happen to do content creation? Maybe you still might. But
Hmm.
what would be something just as another dream job? Like what would be you in an alternative universe doing?
I probably would have. I feel like I would have stuck with civil engineering. I'm not gonna lie. Like a little.
Okay.
Like I feel like I would have done that. Or honestly, this might even sound. I don't know necessarily. Like I think another thing too is like teaching languages because I'm like a huge like I'm a huge fan of like learning new languages. Like I
Really?
study
Okay.
Japanese. I'm now studying Korean, like a little bit of Korean. Yeah, so it's like
Wow.
I don't know, bro. Like it's so fire. Like stuff like that is so sick. I don't know necessarily like what the salary, like what the money like in that system, but I know it's
Yeah.
like it's definitely fun. And I don't know, bro. Teaching is really sick. Just teaching in general. It's just you're giving somebody knowledge and you're guiding them. And when you see somebody flourish and grow, and then they maybe even like accelerate or excel past what you've done, like I could definitely see why my teachers were like mad fulfilled. Like they're like, oh my gosh, like it's a cool feeling.
Yeah, yeah, especially for people that want to learn. My mother's a middle school teacher.
Okay,
Those kids don't want to learn nothing, so it's not
right,
as rewarding. It is
right.
incredibly rewarding when that one or two students is really taking it seriously and they're
Hmm.
engaged. But yeah, I think yeah, the space that you operate in where people can come to you for that knowledge and have a big impact to that is really an awesome feeling. Um, Yeah, man. Well, honestly, I'm just really kind of interested to see where you continue going from here. Like I said, I've been following for a relatively short amount of time, but I've seen some really cool stuff from you. I'm gonna obviously continue to be a consumer from your teaching, your lessons, your tutorials, but also just taking influence from some of the other projects that you're working on. So really excited to see that. Um, what's just as a little side side chat before we get towards the end here. DaVinci Resolve 21 just came out. I'm sure you're gonna have a bunch of stuff that you can
Yeah,
start digging into there that
right.
that you can share. So I'll let you talk about that on your platform later. What are some things that you'd be interested to see in DaVinci that they don't have right now that they could maybe bring you to the
High
tool
key,
down
I'm
the
not
line?
even gonna lie. Like if they, because Adobe literally just did this. Adobe got intimidated and then they said, let's add a color page. If
Mm-hmm.
Resolve added like a layer page to their Fusion, bro, that would be so fire because I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even like, I'm not even kidding. Like I wouldn't get stressed out or like opening Fusion. Because Fusion for me, there's certain it's just like the node tree thing and the fact that
Yeah.
like you have to the arrows got to work in this
Mm-hmm.
and this, whereas like
Mm-hmm.
if I have all these set layers in After Effects, I can figure out what doesn't work and what doesn't. But like, why do I have to not know what like arrow is going to what? You know what
It's
I
not
mean?
very
Like,
intuitive. Yeah.
literally. But then
Yeah.
again, like I said earlier, Black Magic got a book, bro. Like I might as well just open the book and figure it out, bro. But
Maybe.
like, you know what I mean?
But
But if
that takes a whole different level of experimentation.
right,
And I do
right,
think, relatively, from what I see, After Effects is still a more powerful tool. Like Fusion's
yeah,
still, I think Fusion's like their stepchild, so to speak, within DR right now.
hmm
So they could put a lot more into that down the line. But yeah, maybe we'll see some Fusion tutorials from you soon
maybe,
enough, because I haven't even touched that thing unless I'm breaking down a title animation or something like
right,
that.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
keep it very
I'm
minimal.
curious what they're gonna keep doing with some of the AI features. Maybe speed up some of the mundane tasks and
Right,
like simple cuts and all those type of things. So
right.
um, that should be pretty cool
And
to
they
see
do
down
have
the
a
line.
lot of good AI features now. I
Hmm.
think another thing too, just like we also want to cover is like AI shouldn't be like a pilot when it comes to working. It should just kind of be like a co-pilot or
Hmm.
something on the
Hmm.
side that you need to like
Hmm.
aid. So like
Yeah.
for example, I use their AI subtitles. That's AI. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I feel
Hmm.
like people also get mad when they hear the word AI, especially in the creative sense where they're like, "Oh, you use AI for your work," but I'm like, "Bro, like I'm not gonna create my subtitles manually, bro. Like that takes way too long.
Yeah, it's the generative AI that
Right. Exactly.
I'm not a huge fan of.
Right.
You
I'm
know,
not a huge fan of the
it's
generative stuff.
no,
It's
no.
not
But the stuff
really.
that just is just a tool to
Yeah.
aid in my process, man. Yeah,
Right.
I'm curious what we can
Right.
continue to develop there.
So that's the stuff for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I'm
awesome, man.
excited for that photo page too. That photo page.
Yes, that's gonna be a big one. I've been on the Adobe subscriptions for a while now, ready to
Right.
get off of that. We'll see. I still have to figure out though. I got so many photos stored in my Lightroom catalog. You know, how am I gonna manage the transition
Right.
with that? But yeah, if they can continue to like start to take over more parts of the market, I
Oh my
think
gosh,
DaVinci
bro.
Resolve will be the standard eventually.
That's what I'm
So
saying, bro.
yeah,
I
yeah,
used to
it's
not
awesome.
understand it, but I'm like, y'all need to just get on it now, bro. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's gonna
And the
change your life.
studio version, I had the free version for so long. Studio
Hmm.
version is 1,000% worth it.
Oh,
Like
bro.
you get free updates for life. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be amazing.
You pay for it once.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
people gotta recognize this. I'm gonna say this too. People gotta recognize this. If you are a creative, bro, and filmmaker, photographer, content creator, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have the time to go and spend $15 at the McDonald's drive-through and it's gonna
Hmm.
last you 20 minutes, but
Hmm.
then you are also approached by something that is going to give you work and also help you invest and make more money 10 times what you actually put into it, why would you not invest into it?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
DaVinci is $300. I don't think they've raised the price. I think it should be $300, 297 or 295, and you pay for that once.
Hmm.
$300, and then you do an editing project. Like, let's say you do an editing project or you shoot a video, you do the whole entire production thing. You charge somebody $500.
Hmm.
You edit and resolve. You have your color features. You have all these tools. You've made your money back, bro. Like this is where it went back to that Micro Center gig where it was like my first gig I did for them, like the video I submitted, it paid for my studio.
Hmm.
So I'm like, after that, I'm not gonna think about it. Like it's a no-brainer. I use it
Yeah.
every single day. I don't have to worry about money coming out of my account consistently. So it's like,
Exactly.
if you're a creative, do not be overwhelmed. Like don't be like, oh my gosh, I can't justify it. Like that's just an excuse. Like you just don't want to spend
Hmm.
the money. I get it, cool.
Hmm.
But like at the same time, it's an investment. Like there's only so much that the free stuff can get you, which it's great that they have free. If you maximize the free stuff, then invest in the studio version. But like
Hmm.
if you're shooting 10-bit stuff, you need to have the studio version. You're like the sky's the limit the minute you use it, man. Like so I just want to tell people that. I'm like, bro, like
It's in the same realm to me as investing in high quality gear. And
hmm
that's more exciting. It's more like tangible and
hmm
but at the end of the day, yeah, if you just anticipate being able to get your money back through the work you're doing, enhancing the quality, then yeah, at the end of the day, it's gonna pay for itself soon enough. So
no,
um,
seriously. The
yeah,
gear thing is so true too. I saw somebody's page. This other guy was selling this one thing, and I think it was like $10 for it or whatever. And this guy commented on it, and he was like, "Oh, bro, like what you're selling is too expensive." And it was like $10 for this. Like, I don't even remember exactly what it was. A really great deal, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, this is a good investment for $10 for what it's
hmm.
worth." I was like, "This guy was underselling himself." But then the guy commented. One guy commented, he was like, "It's too expensive." So I went to his page, and all he has was a bunch of different lenses, high end, expensive lenses, and I was like,
That's crazy.
$10 is
That's
a lot to
crazy.
you,
This
brother?
man is tripping. Yeah.
But you got some G Masters? Come on now.
Nah, he's
Like, I
trying to
was
finesse
confused.
for an even better. Yeah, maybe he's a great negotiator and he got all these
Right.
lenses at a huge discount. Um,
Right.
yeah, man. I mean, this is a industry that requires investment.
Right.
It's not for a lot of people that start off with it as a hobby. If you're going to continue to grow, you will definitely be spending some money, but it needs to be all put towards the right things. And I
Facts,
think we
bro.
all get to a point where we just want to accumulate it all. It'd be
Hmm.
awesome to have 1,000 cameras and lenses, but
Right.
comes down to how you're approaching things with the right mindset. Going back to the mindset conversation.
Hmm.
Um, Awesome. Well, Gabe, man, this is great. I could continue talking to you for another few hours, of course, but
Thanks, bro.
wanted to keep things concise today. I think you offered some really valuable information for people that are not only starting out as a creator themselves,
Right.
but also just for people that want to follow something similar to what you're doing as a colorist, as a filmmaker, someone that's transitioning from some part-time work into doing this full-time,
Right.
and also people that are young enough. I'm a little bit older than you, man, but people that haven't necessarily figured it all out just
Hmm.
yet. I think when you're in your 20s, it is all about
Figuring it out.
experimenting,
Yeah.
connecting with some of your passions, and eventually you'll sort of carve your own path out. So excited to continue following with you on that end. Anything else you wanted to say to your audience, or share as we wrap things up today?
I mean, for one, I mean, first of all, yeah, I appreciate you even having me on here. I'm gonna make sure that like um, people follow you. Like, I'll give the shout out and everything too. So, huge shout out to Nate for even having me. But I guess really one thing that I would really just want to say to every single person is like, no matter like how old you are and whatnot, you know, if you, I feel like if you just don't give up on your dreams and whatnot, like you genuinely can start to see things come to light. And it's been really really cool to just like work on this whole entire path, like this passion for years. And even though like the short form media stuff again like was built over 5 months, I've been doing video stuff for 15 years and I've
Hmm.
never given up on it. And it's really cool to see now some of these things paid off. And I didn't even post this on my social media either. I only posted this on like my personal stuff, but like I like NBA players have reached out to me. Rappers have reached out to me to like color grade their stuff to work with them. It's cool stuff like that that I haven't posted on my page, but like
Hmm.
it's stuff I'm negotiating and figuring out behind the scenes. But it's the sky's the limit, like so don't give up. Just create, do have fun, like have fun as much as you can. And just be humble, man. Like, like don't get a stick shoulder and everything like that.
Yeah,
Like,
don't take yourself too seriously.
yeah,
This is
vibe
we're
out.
all yeah, exactly, man. We're really here to just create. That's what I
That's
think
it,
so many of
man.
us have been put on this earth to do. So yeah,
Facts.
just follow that journey, man.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, very well said, Gabe. Again, really appreciate you being
Yeah,
on. This
bro.
is one of our very first episodes, so really look forward to sharing a little bit more with other creators. Maybe having Gabe back on once he reaches 500,000 subscribers
That'd be crazy,
or
bro.
followers soon enough. Now we'll definitely get you back for that.
For sure.
But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation with Gabe today. Looking forward to sharing a little bit more in the future, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Take it easy.